The foundation. The gray October sky hangs heavy over Portland's Pearl District. Rain taps steadily against the floor-to-ceiling windows of Commonplace Books, a cozy independent bookstore cafe where the smell of aged paper mingles with freshly ground coffee. Inside, between towering shelves of second-hand novels and local poetry collections, two women sit at their usual corner table, the one with the wobbly leg they've propped up with folded napkins for the past 3 years. Maya Chen, 34, adjusts her tortoiseshell glasses as she leans over her laptop, her dark hair pulled into a messy bun. Her fingers pause over the keyboard as she glances at the manuscript pages spread across the table. Across from her, Becca Morrison, 35, sketches in her leather-bound journal, her blonde hair catching the warm lamplight. The jade plant they gave the cafe owner 2 Christmases ago sits on the windowsill beside them, thriving. "Read me that last paragraph again," Becca says without looking up from her sketch. "The one about the mother's hands." Maya scrolls up on her screen and begins reading, her voice soft but clear. Her mother's hands had become maps of sacrifice, each wrinkle a road traveled for someone else, each scar a monument to moments when she placed herself last. Becca's pencil stops moving. She looks up, her hazel eyes bright. "Maya. That's... God, that's beautiful. When did you become this good?" Maya laughs, a sound of embarrassment mixed with pleasure. "Stop it. You say that about everything I write. Because it's always true." Becca closes her journal and reaches across to squeeze Maya's hand. "This memoir is going to change things for you. I can feel it." The warmth of the moment wraps around them like the cafe's ambient lighting. Outside, a cyclist splashes through a puddle, and a bus hisses to a stop on Northwest 23rd Avenue. Inside, everything feels exactly as it should. Maya's voice carries over a series of quick scenes. "Becca and I met 7 years ago at a community writing workshop in Southeast Portland. I was there because my therapist said I needed to process my divorce creatively. Becca was there because she just moved from Sacramento and didn't know anyone. We were paired for a feedback exercise, and she told me my short story about a failed marriage was devastatingly honest but needed better paragraph breaks. I told her that her flash fiction about her grandmother was emotionally manipulative in the best possible way. We got coffee afterward. Then dinner. Then coffee again. Before I knew it, she was the person I texted first with good news and bad news and the boring news in between." Images flash by, the two women laughing at a farmer's market in autumn, sharing a basket of pears. Becca helping Maya move into a new apartment, both of them covered in sweat and surrounded by boxes. Maya holding Becca's hand in what looks like a hospital waiting room, both their faces etched with worry. The two of them hiking in Forest Park, muddy and exhausted but grinning. Birthday celebrations. Holiday dinners. Ordinary Tuesdays that mattered simply because they were together. "So, status update," Becca says, pulling out her phone. "The gallery opening is confirmed for February 14th, Valentine's Day, because apparently, I hate myself." Maya smiles. "Your work is going to blow people away. The preview shots you showed me were incredible. They're just sketches. They're extraordinary sketches. There's a difference." Maya saves her document and closes her laptop. "Have you told your mom yet?" Becca's expression shifts, a barely perceptible tightening around her eyes. "Not yet. You know how she is. She'll find a way to make it about her disappointment that I'm not using my real degree in marketing. Your real degree is gathering dust while you create actual art. I'd say that's a win. Easy for you to say. Your mom actually supports your writing." Maya's face clouds. "My mom died supporting my writing but never getting to see it succeed. There's a difference between support and getting to celebrate with someone." The air grows heavy. Becca immediately reaches across the table again. "I'm sorry. That was thoughtless." "It's okay." Maya blinks rapidly. I wish she could read this memoir. She's such a huge part of it. She'd be so proud of you. They sit in comfortable silence for a moment, the kind of silence that only exists between people who've earned each other's quiet. The barista calls out someone's complicated order, a triple shot, oat milk, sugar-free vanilla latte with extra foam, and the mundane normality of it feels grounding. I have news, Maya says, her voice carefully neutral. Becca leans forward. Good news or bad news? Good news. I think. Maybe great news. Maya fidgets with her coffee cup. Remember that literary agent I queried 3 months ago? The one in New York who represents all those memoir writers I admire. Andrea Goldstein. Yes. She emailed me back. She wants to see the full manuscript. Becca's face explodes into joy. She actually squeals, something Maya has only heard her do a handful of times in 7 years. Maya. Oh my God. This is huge. This is, when were you going to tell me? I got the email an hour ago. I've been too nervous to even process it. Nervous? You should be celebrating. We should be celebrating. Becca flags down the barista. 2 slices of that lemon cake, please. We're celebrating. Later that evening, Maya sits alone in her 1-bedroom apartment in the Hawthorne district. The place is small but carefully curated, plants on every available surface, vintage posters from Powell's books, and a desk by the window that overlooks a neighborhood slowly surrendering to darkness and streetlights. She opens her laptop and rereads Andrea Goldstein's email for the 20th time. Her cursor hovers over the manuscript file. 3 years of work. 3 years of therapy sessions, late nights, tears, breakthroughs, and brutal honesty about her family, her failed marriage, her struggle with anxiety, and her mother's death from breast cancer 2 years ago. Her phone buzzes. A text from Becca, still freaking out about your news. Let's go to dinner Friday to celebrate properly. My treat. Maya smiles and types back, you don't have to do that. Becca, I know. But I want to. You're going to be a published author, and I want to tell everyone I knew you when, winky face. Maya, don't jinx it. Becca, too late. Already manifesting it. See you tomorrow. Maya, bookstore at 2. Becca, wouldn't miss it. Maya sets down her phone and looks at her manuscript file again. She thinks about Becca's unwavering support, about their Tuesday afternoons at Commonplace Books, about how friendship can be the thing that holds you together when everything else falls apart. She has no idea that in 3 weeks, 1 sentence will shatter everything. The crack. November arrives in Portland with its characteristic gray dampness. The trees along Maya's street have mostly surrendered their leaves, creating soggy golden carpets on the sidewalks. Inside Commonplace Books, the cafe has switched from iced drinks to hot cider, and someone has strung up fairy lights that cast a warm glow against the increasingly early darkness. Maya and Becca sit at their usual table, but something has shifted. Maya's laptop is closed. Becca's journal remains in her bag. Between them sits a hardcover book, Maya's manuscript, printed and bound at FedEx office at considerable expense. I can't believe you printed the whole thing, Becca says, running her hand over the cover page. This must have cost a fortune. Andrea wants it by Friday. I know I could email it, but... Maya trails off. I wanted to see it like this. Like a real book. Just once, even if nothing comes of it. Something will come of it. Becca's voice carries absolute certainty. Can I read some of it? I know I've seen pieces, but... Maya hesitates. It's pretty raw. Especially the chapters about my mom. I can handle raw. I know you can. I just... Maya pushes the manuscript across the table. Start with chapter 7. That's the one about the summer after my divorce, when I moved back home for 3 months. Becca opens to chapter 7 and begins reading. Maya watches her face, trying to gauge reactions. She's shared her writing with Becca countless times, but this feels different. This is the complete story. This is everything. Friday evening. Maya and Becca sit at a corner booth in Le Pigeon, an upscale restaurant in Portland's East Burnside neighborhood. The lighting is dim and intimate, and the menu is the kind that doesn't list prices because if you have to ask, you probably shouldn't be there. Becca insisted on this place, insisted on celebrating properly. Maya wears a dress she bought specifically for this dinner, something emerald green that makes her feel confident and sophisticated. Becca looks stunning in black, her blonde hair styled in waves she clearly spent time on. To Maya Chen, Becca raises her wine glass. Future published author and the most talented writer I know. Maya clinks her glass against Becca's, but her smile is nervous. You haven't even read the whole thing yet. I've read enough. The chapters you let me see were incredible. Becca takes a sip of wine. How are you feeling about sending it to Andrea? Terrified. Hopeful. Nauseous. All of the above. That sounds about right. They order duck confit for Becca, seared salmon for Maya, and fall into easy conversation about everything and nothing. Becca talks about a new series of sketches she's working on for the gallery opening. Maya discusses a freelance editing project that's paying well but draining her soul. They laugh about their barista at Commonplace Books who has clearly been flirting with Maya for months but hasn't asked her out yet. You should give him your number, Becca suggests. I'm not ready. It's been 3 years since David. I know. But I'm still not ready. Maya pauses, considering. Maybe after the memoir is done. After I've processed everything. It feels weird to date while I'm actively writing about why my marriage failed. That's fair. Becca twirls her wine glass. Though for what it's worth, you deserve someone who sees you the way that barista does, like you're the most interesting person in the room. The warmth of the comment settles over Maya like a blanket. This is what she loves about Becca, the way she can make you feel seen and valued with just a few words. Dinner arrives, and they eat slowly, savoring both the food and the moment. Outside the restaurant windows, Portland's Friday night crowd moves past, young professionals heading to bars, tourists consulting their phones, homeless individuals huddled in doorways. The city's complexity is on full display. I finished reading your manuscript, Becca says suddenly. Maya's fork stops halfway to her mouth. You did? When? Last night. I couldn't put it down. I stayed up until 3 a.m. Becca's expression is difficult to read. Maya, it's powerful. Truly. The way you write about grief, about your mother's illness, about watching someone you love disappear piece by piece, it's devastating. Thank you. Maya's voice is quiet. That means everything coming from you. And the chapters about your marriage, about David's emotional withdrawal, about feeling invisible in your own relationship, that's going to resonate with so many people. Maya nods, feeling exposed but also relieved. This is the book she needed to write. This is her truth. But Becca hesitates. The single word hangs in the air like a thunderclap. Maya sets down her fork. But what? There's a section, chapter 15, I think, where you write about your friendships. About how you leaned on people during your divorce and your mom's illness. Yes. Maya's chest tightens slightly. What about it? Becca pulls out her phone and scrolls to a note. Can I read you something? Just a few sentences from that chapter. Okay. Becca clears her throat and begins reading from Maya's manuscript. During the darkest period of my life, I learned who my real friends were. Sarah sent weekly care packages but never called. Tom offered advice but disappeared when I actually needed help. And then there was the friend who seemed perfect on the surface, always available, always supportive, but whose support came with invisible strings attached. The kind of friend who kept score without telling you the game had started. Who gave generously but expected unpaid emotional debts in return. I didn't see it then, but that friendship was slowly suffocating me with its weight of unspoken expectations. The restaurant noise, clinking glasses, murmured conversations, distant laughter, seems to fade into static. Maya stares at Becca, her mouth suddenly dry. Maya starts, but her voice catches. Is that about me? Becca asks. Her voice is steady, but her eyes glisten. The friend with invisible strings? Maya feels her world tilting. Becca, no. That's not. Because if it is, if that's how you felt about our friendship. Becca's hands shake slightly as she sets down her phone. 7 years, Maya. 7 years of me thinking we were family. That we were there for each other unconditionally. We are. You are. Maya reaches across the table, but Becca pulls back. That passage isn't about you. It's a composite. It's several people blended together. Don't lie to me. Please don't lie. A tear slips down Becca's cheek. I know you're writing. I know how you process things. Every other person in that chapter is clearly identifiable, Sarah, Tom, even your ex-mother-in-law. But this mystery friend who suffocates with expectations? That's deliberately vague. That's you protecting someone's identity because you knew it would hurt them to read it. The truth sits between them like a third presence at the table. Maya's heart pounds so hard she can hear it in her ears. Answer me honestly, Becca says, her voice breaking. Is any part of that about me? Maya closes her eyes. When she opens them, she makes a choice, the choice she's been trained to make in therapy, the choice toward brutal honesty even when it costs everything. Yes, she whispers. Some of it. Not all of it, but some. The silence that follows is crushing. Becca stands up, her napkin falling to the floor. I need to go, she says. Becca, please. Let me explain. Explain what? That you think I've been manipulating you for 7 years? That every time I supported you through your divorce, through your mom's death, through your anxiety attacks, that was all me keeping score? Expecting payment? That's not what I meant. Then what did you mean, Maya? Becca's voice rises slightly, drawing glances from nearby tables. Because that's what you wrote. In your book. Your memoir that you're sending to agents, that might get published, that might be read by thousands of people. And somewhere in there, you've told the world that I'm a toxic friend who suffocates you. You're taking it out of context. No. Becca grabs her purse. I'm taking it exactly as you wrote it. You had months to reconsider those words. Years. You chose to keep them. She walks toward the exit. Maya scrambles to follow, throwing cash on the table without counting it. Outside, the November rain has started again, cold and cutting. Becca, wait. Maya catches up to her on the sidewalk. Please. Let me explain. Becca turns, rain already dampening her carefully styled hair. Do you have any idea what it's like to read that? To see yourself described as someone who keeps score, who manipulates, who expects unpaid debts. To realize that every time you've texted me, every time we've met for coffee, you might have been resenting it. Feeling suffocated. I don't resent you. I love you. You're my best friend. Am I? Becca's laugh is bitter. Because best friends don't write that kind of thing about each other. Best friends don't, her voice cracks. I was there, Maya. When David left. When your mom died. When you couldn't get out of bed for weeks. I brought you food. I sat with you in silence. I held your hand through panic attacks. And apparently, the whole time, you thought I was, what? Scoring points. Expecting you to owe me? No. God, no. Maya's own tears mix with the rain. It's not that simple. You're right, you were there for everything. You saved me in so many ways. But there were also times when it felt like I couldn't have my own experience without you making it about our friendship. Like my grief had to include you in a specific way. Like if I needed space or wanted to process things alone, I was letting you down. That's called caring about someone, Maya. That's called being invested in someone's life. I know. And I'm grateful. But there's a line between being supportive and being enmeshed. And sometimes, not always, but sometimes, I felt like we crossed it. Becca steps back as if physically struck. Enmeshed. That's the word you're going with? I'm trying to be honest with you. You're trying to justify why you betrayed me in print. Becca's voice is cold now, the tears replaced by something harder. You wrote that. You chose those words. You painted me as a villain in your story, and you didn't even have the decency to warn me before I read it. I didn't think you'd recognize yourself. I changed details. But you didn't change enough, did you? Because here we are. Becca wraps her arms around herself. I need you to understand something. What you wrote, that single paragraph, those few sentences, they don't just hurt me. They erase 7 years. They rewrite our entire history. Every memory I have of supporting you, of us being there for each other, is now contaminated by the knowledge that you saw me as toxic. As someone who suffocated you. That's not. It is. That's exactly what you wrote. Becca's voice drops to barely above a whisper. I can't unhear it, Maya. And I can't pretend to be your friend knowing that's how you see me. So what are you saying? Becca meets her eyes, and Maya sees something she's never seen before, a door closing. I'm saying we're done. You and me. This friendship. It's over. Becca, please. Don't. Becca holds up her hand. Don't make this harder. You wrote your truth. Now live with it. She turns and walks away, disappearing into the rainy Portland night. Maya stands on the sidewalk, shaking, from cold, from shock, from the sudden, devastating absence of the person who'd been her constant for 7 years. She doesn't know it yet, but she won't hear from Becca again for 3 months. And when she does, everything will be different.